listening to Mercy with Shelley Buffett on ITNS Radio.
I'd be better off dead. Walk away from here, or I lose my head. It's a world of silence. It's all been said.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mercy with Shelley Buffett. I'm really happy to be here with you this evening. I was away last week staffing at a children's camp, which was a lot of fun. And on my way home from Southern Ontario, I stopped in at Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and met up with singer-songwriter and musician Michael Urich. Michael was performing at the La Terraza restaurant on St. Joseph's Island, east of Sault Ste. Marie. It was a pleasure meeting the owners and hosts there, Sal and Maria Franzisi. The food was incredible. The service atmosphere was inviting and fresh. I highly recommend a night out to La Terraza. And they have live music, and Michael was actually playing that weekend, which was very cool. So if you're in the St. Joseph Island, Richards Landing, Ontario, stop into La Terraza restaurant. While I was at La Terraza, Michael was playing there, which was really exciting for me, and I've heard him at other venues in the Sioux area. And his music is a mosaic of genres that are definitely a fusion of decades of sound and songs that he's combined in his many years working as a professional musician and touring artist. His original music ranges from relaxed jazzy blues to country to gospel, but all reflect the nuance of Michael's distinct voice, dynamic lyrics, and creative genius that distinguishes every artist to their own truth in performance. Angela and Michael met with me at their home on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Michael and I sat down and talked about his career and his journey in life through music. So in the spotlight on Mercy with Shelley Buffett this week, it is Michael Yurich. Michael, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I guess we'll start with the inevitable question. When, how, why, where? When did you begin playing music? Who were your influences? And where was your first professional gig?
I was 10 years old.
Okay, that's young.
I started taking piano lessons. And it was... I thought she was a nice person, but she could get really cranky sometimes if she didn't have a couple cigarettes. My piano teacher, and she'd slap me across the hands with a ruler. And I was worried about that. Rulers have an edge to them. They have like a little steel edge. I was worried about getting my hands fractured or something like that. But
yeah, I had one of those music teachers too.
But I guess she meant everything, and she actually became friends with my mother. My mother thought she was a great, she's a musician, highly tempered, and her husband was also a musician. Her husband was a lot more mellower than she was, but I think he drank more, so he was, but yeah, she was nice. And then she recommended me to another piano teacher who really was very much into fingering and rhythmic, keeping, watching how your tempo, how you play tempo. That's basically it. You have to have somebody teaching you those basic things when you start playing an instrument. And he was pretty good, except he used to drive me crazy. His wife used to bring out like salami sandwiches that were almost like gourmet salami sandwiches with cheese and pickles and everything. And he'd sit there and eat those things in front of me while I was playing the piano. It drove me crazy. I was a famished 11 or 12-year-old, Wow, could I have a bite? And he ate these things in front of me. I could never understand it. I thought it was sort of... But apparently he stayed there teaching piano all day long, so that was his deal, and his wife catered to him, and she was Italian, and she must have been a great cook. I think she was. I'd like to see if I can get some of his music, though. He wrote some of his original music.
Okay.
That was my classical period in my life. But I think a lot of people don't pay attention to what's going on with the classical music anymore because they think it all starts from AC/DC onwards.
Right.
It's like, come on, I like those guys, but music goes back. It goes back to the roots.
But certainly, like when you're beginning in your music career, there are definitely influences. So, did you have any at that age? Who were you listening to?
When I was really young, I guess my first band that I really liked was the Beach Boys.
Okay.
Because they were fun. It was fun, And the Finnish Club, I don't know what's about the Finnish Club. The Croatian.
When you were 10 years old, you and your brother were playing Tamburitsas.
Yeah, but that's not in the Finnish Club.
That was your first gig.
No, that was...
Okay. We're getting cues from the background from Angela.
Oh, that's all right. Angela should be part of this, too, because she is part of this.
She is.
The Croatians, oh yeah, so when I was 12 years old, I had been playing piano for 2 years, going to music festivals, and I won a couple times at the Kiwanis Music Festivals, but I never got invited to a banquet or anything like that, so did I think it was really good? No, but I got these trophies, and it was, I guess, a good thing. But then when I was like 12 years old, I started... my father wanted me to get interested in his roots of going back to Croatia, so I started playing that. It was like a mandolin. It's called a tamburica, and that's where I started to acquire some guitar playing skills, really, because I'm learning how to play with a pick, and playing like a tremolo. Do you know what a tremolo is? This is a tremolo.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, there you go.
There we go. Live. It's Michael Urich.
Never on Monday or Sunday or Tuesday.
That is the day of musicians' rest.
No, that's the day we go in for therapy. Okay. Anyways, no, that was sort of a thing, but I enjoyed it. It was very ethnic. I remember playing, 12 years old. Then I ended up playing the bass. The bass, it was like a stand-up bass, but it was very difficult to play. You had to use 4 fingers, and I had, 12 years old. I couldn't really play with that much strength. And I don't think even a grown man could play that thing. That thing it was called the Berda, the bass Berda. And they wanted me to play that because they'd be doing dances, and we had an accordion player eventually come in the band. So we're playing polkas, and all the bass parts are all like this, right? 4 fingers, 4 fingers, 4, you got 4 fingers on each note, and you're going, my fingers are getting really sore. A real bass like that would hurt, but I guess, these instruments were not top-notch.
Sure.
I gotta say they weren't top-notch. So we played this, but it worked, And I did that for a little while. I actually made money playing and people from Croatia would come and they would get so emotional. It was like, their country has always been war-torn, look at the thing in Bosnia. It's crazy. But anyways, I got involved with that music because of my roots, and it did do something good. And then when I was about 14, I got a guitar. My grandmother bought me a guitar. She said, he seems to want to play guitar, so it was a fairly cheap guitar. It was a Belltone. I wish I had it still. It would probably be worth some money by now.
Yeah.
And it was a cheap little guitar. And then eventually I bought myself, I worked in the summer, and I bought myself a Hagstrom guitar. It was like a Stratocaster. It had buttons on it. But it sounded really good. And by this time, you're getting influenced by Jimi Hendrix and, of course, the Beatles. For me, it was always a progress in listening to guitar playing and stuff to see if I could emulate some of the stuff. And I was always trying to get pretty close. The purpose of your musical creativity should be to find out who you are, though. I mean, that's the big thing. You got to do that.
Oh yeah, you got to put your heart on your sleeve, and
The main thing about guitar players is when they go on stage together and they start playing solos. One guy will play the solo, and the other guy will try to play the same solo. I find that a lot. Don't do that. Just play your solo.
Yeah. Speaking of your music, tell me the story behind the song "Losing Game."
Oh, the Losing Game. Okay, I had an operation about 2 years ago, and I was on all these painkillers for everything, and I was drifting back into my own past, and I remember being in Wyoming, going back towards the Canadian side. I had spent the whole summer in Cheyenne, Wyoming, working at a rodeo, and meeting all kinds of characters, playing there. I had a good time there. The biggest thing right there, well, the Eagles were really, really big. It was sort of like strange. It was the Eagles were really big, and so was Waylon Jennings. Waylon Jennings had become, in 1974, Waylon Jennings was the king of the Cowboys in Nashville. But the Eagles were king of the Cowboys nationwide. Yeah. They had taken over. They were outlaws. They'd taken over the music scene, and they did it because they knew how. And they were great. They had a great band. Oh yeah. But they had problems with the band too. I mean, that became evident after a while. But I got to meet a lot of people. A guitar player played just like Chet Atkins, and a bass player that stuttered a lot. Liam. Him and his wife, they owned 16 poodles.
Really?
They were really. Yeah, I went to visit it one time, and all I could smell was poodle poop.
So it was kind of a losing game there too. So
Well, yeah, it was a losing game. Well, that was a losing game. You know, it was my sabbatical
yeah,
at that time, and
Yeah.
during this operation 2 years ago, I went back to that time period, and I had been interested in the Russell Means. He's a chief of the Lakota, and an activist and an actor. And I started to investigate, and the white people were really very, very, very bad towards those people in that area because they were after gold. And it was like, so I wrote the song, The Losing Game. And it's all about that area, and that era, and that time period. And I don't know why, but I felt an affinity towards those people while I was coming down off this operation, and it was good. I felt good about it. It's a song looking for justice in some ways. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a fool do you have to make of yourself to become like everybody else? Maybe that's the number one thing that I was saying in the song.
Beautiful. And here we are. We're going to be hearing The Losing Game by Michael Yurich. And you're listening to Mercy with Shelley Buffett.
I wanna be a joker man. Don't wanna care. Wanna tie myself up in love. Doesn't go nowhere. I was always begging for attention. Stuck down on my knees. I was turning into someone else. Only wanted to please. Stuck inside of memories. Wasting all my time. There's nowhere you can go to. What's the use of trying when you can't get moving? It's yourself. Half the blame. One more day you're feeling crazy. It's a losing game. You wanna tell us something, how you really feel, but your heart tells your mind this life isn't real. All these thoughts and dreams that never came true. Had it up to here. Tired of being blue. A pity on the fool. His dreams are stuck in sand. This place is gone, this world. Nobody understands. The past is just a dream. Never seems to go away. I never knew what I should do in a losing game.
And that was Michael Yurich with Losing Game. And we are here today, or tonight on Mercy, with Michael Yurich, and continuing on with a few more questions for you, Michael. What is the secret to longevity in having a career in the music industry? And please tell me this, because I'm sure it's worth $1 million if there's a real good answer. And what advice do you have for artist musicians who are pursuing a career in music?
Yeah, I'm doing okay today, but I could be a starving artist tomorrow. Believe me, it could go that fast. You know, you better believe in yourself.
Yeah,
If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
that's right.
And when you believe in yourself, you believe in your own music.
Yeah. And passion. I think passion is a
Oh, yeah.
huge part of it.
I still get stage fright, and it's crazy, but I get stage fright before I play all the time. And it's like, and sometimes I'm not even good that first set. I'm just fussing around and stuff like that. Playing with a band is a lot easier than playing by yourself because you know how to, if you know how to play with a band and play the parts the right way, it's a lot of fun. Playing by yourself is difficult, but if you find yourself getting into a groove about it, then you're fine.
Yeah. And talking about that, like you've toured extensively and you've also been a house musician for, certain venues. So what are the benefits of working both venues? And non-benefits, I guess.
If you're out on the road, try to find something interesting to do every day. That's what you got to do. Get yourself a barbecue. So, you have a little bit of a party in the afternoon, with the other musicians. You go and have a little buffet, barbecue stuff, find a place, That's always been the thing. Party a little bit. You have to party a little bit. Don't stay in your room and practice all day. I mean, that'll make you crazy after a while. And people go, can I talk to that guy? I don't know. He's off in his own world. I played with musicians who were like that. They were really good players, but they were like zombies during the day. It's like, don't talk to that guy. Oh, why? Oh, he's I don't know. He used to work in a meat plant. Oh, you mean like Rocky? Yeah, like Rocky. Probably, I did play in a blues band with a guy like that. I'm not going to name his name, but he was frightening.
Oh yeah.
He was so talented. He was a great player, and he wrote original songs. And I felt humbled to play with the guy. He was from Montreal, but at the end of every gig, 5 or 6 days, he'd had enough of the club owners. He wanted to kill the club owners. That was it. By the end of the gig, it was like he wanted to kill the club owner, and he started spanking the chairs around when we were loading up and stuff like that, and everybody would be looking at us like, "Are you guys? What kind of music do you play?" We played blues. We were playing blues, right. Playing in a blues band. That is a totally another experience. I went out playing in a blues band when the Zeppelin rock band tribute acts were all going on. So you'd start off in a bar on a Monday night, and they were lining up to get out of the place. They didn't want to hear no blues. By Wednesday or Thursday, the blues crowd showed up, and it got all sanctified after a while. But I'm sorry, there was a lot of bozo heads in the 80s, and the culture was like that too.
Wow. Well, talking about blues, Constantly Blue is one of my favorite songs, and I've played it on Mercy on one of my episodes. And we're going to take a listen to Constantly Blue right now by Michael Urich.
It's blowing so blue. Took such a long, long time for some feelings to go away. It's not a real good sign for my heart to feel this way. Constantly blue over you. Constantly blue over you. Things used to be so different. I was so carefree. I know you're somewhere else, darling, but these memories are clinging to me. pool, constantly blue over you, constantly blue, more than a color. I don't know where I am. It's more than a situation. What a woman can do to a man. Constantly blue over you. Constantly blue. More than a color. Constantly blue. No veneers on my teeth. I don't have no Gucci's on my feet. Don't care about being famous. Hanging around with the elite. I never took an acting lesson. I never knew how to dance. I never signed on the dotted line. Nobody put me in a trance. Hollywood ain't a calling. It don't bother me. I know what I'm doing. I prefer my own company. People act like sheep. They all chase the latest trend. Nobody cares where you're from, where you're gonna end. This is Jimmy Durante part. Yeah. When you bring it to the table, then get shoved aside. You're not what they were looking for. They want a different kind. I ain't no bona fide fool, waiting to jump at every command. I don't need no woman, don't need no man. Hollywood ain't calling. The glamour has all gone. I used to want to be there, but I was never going to belong. It don't bother me. I used to want to be there. I got screwed up with this part anyways.
That's good. Keep going, man.
It's not the dream for me. Okay. Take your silly iPhone, take a picture of the band, put it on the YouTube, see if you got some fans. Friends are gonna tell you you're the latest thing. Before you take out that chicken wing out of your mouth, Hollywood ain't a calling. Glamour has all gone. I used to want to be there. I was never gonna belong. I'm not so blinded by the lights, the phony company. Hollywood ain't a calling. It's not the dream for me, yeah. Eat a box of potato chips, phone all the neighbors, just to see who's got the dick. When summer comes along, you're never gonna hit the beach, 'cause you're standing on a stepladder. The chocolates are out of reach, Hollywood ain't a calling. It don't bother me. I know I'm breaking some rules here, but I think it's gonna happen anyways. Hollywood ain't a calling. I should play guitar.
That's good. Thank you, Michael. You just heard Michael Urich live at his kitchen table singing Hollywood Ain't Calling. I don't know if I want to call that an epitaph for you, but yeah, it was a great tune. Thank you, Michael. You know, you spoke earlier about your spirituality when we were talking about the losing game, and that spirituality is reflected in some of your songs, such as Into the Light. What inspired you to write this song? And as you continue into your own light toward the future, where do you see yourself and your music headed?
Wow.
That's a loaded question, eh? I want a yacht.
Do I want a yacht? No.
No.
Be happy.
I'd be happy with a yacht.
I'd be happy with a yak. Sometimes, yeah, I think, I'm fascinated by. Everybody likes money. Everybody talks about money. Money is a big thing, But I mean, peace of mind and being happy is really what it's all about. I mean, you can. Excuse me, I'm going to shut this off right now. I don't read that anymore. Being happy is important. Quality of life. You can't live like a bum and expect to really write positive songs. So, but, I know there's a real, the Beat Generation had a very big thing towards, like being like a hippie, and I've been a hippie. I've lived on the streets. And let me tell you, I've learned things, though, from life, It could be very mean and cruel out there, or it could be whatever. But having to, just to resort, when you get older, you have to make sure that you're going to be taken care of and you're going to be in a warm environment and somebody brings you pablum every day.
Well, that would be nice.
No, continuing on my spiritual, okay.
And Into the Light,
Okay, those songs, I was spending time with my son and we were having a great time. And I thought I was very grateful that I had come back from South Korea and I got a time to spend with my boy. And it was great. We had a lot of fun. I took him to Harry Potter movies a lot, and we just had a blast. Mm-hmm. And I felt that because of that, at the time, I was spiritually into the light. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. And you're spiritually into the light, and
the latest thing is I've turned on the light again.
Yeah.
Because I went into a songwriting contest, and I didn't place or anything. They didn't even send an email back, and right. I worked really hard on the songs, and I came out of it and I went, I'm disappointed, but I've turned on the light. It just went on. The light went on again. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it was like, the writing, playing at a better level, all that stuff comes with turning on the light inside you. You've got to turn that light on inside you. You've got...
Lord, I'm asking you for a favor. I hope you're still my friend. I've fallen down by the roadside. Sometimes I don't know where I've been. Love is only a word. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. When people people seem to have enough. Why do they want more? I need hope and love to come into my life, to help me through the darkness, into the light, into the light, into the light, into the light. There's people starving in a far-off land. Could it be the family up the street? Some never get enough, and some have just too much. They turn their eyes away and pretend that they don't see. Judge a man for what he is inside. Ask yourself, what if it was me? I'm reaching out to understand. Have I been blind? Why didn't I see? I need hope and love to come into my life, to help me through the darkness, into the light, into the light, into the light, into the light. Love is only a word. It doesn't seem to matter anymore. When people seem to have enough, why do they want more? I need hope and love to come into my life, to help me through the darkness, into the light, into the light, into the light, into the light, into the light. Into the
Well, everyone, that's my time for tonight. Mercy will not be airing next week as I'm going on a well-deserved holiday. I'd like to say thank you to Michael Urich, La Terraza Restaurant, and my good friend Angela Wilcott for having me up for the weekend. What a great time I had with you all. And please remember, if you want to be aired on Mercy with Shelley Buffett, go to my website, www.shelleybuffett.com, submit your music and your information, and I'll be happy to play you. If you'd like to be a spotlight artist, let me know that too. So thank you, Michael Urich, for being the spotlight artist on this week's show. If you would like to know more about Michael Urich, to my listeners, please go to Reverb Nation. Michael's last name is spelled Yurich. Until next week, everybody, well, I guess until 2 weeks, but stay groovy and have mercy for the entire time. Okay, good night.